Alright, we're about to be wrapping up this really awkward game that we're making. We're going to look at a little bit more about if statements, and then next tutorial I'm going to show you how to make walls. But I need to cover this before I can go to the next tutorial. Oh, stop messaging me, lady. So go ahead and open up your object player. And what we're going to do is delete these 4 events that we made, left, right, up, and down. And we're going to be remaking them in the step event where people typically put their walking system. I mean, this is cool, and these events work, and they do what we want it to do. But let's say you wanted to add to your walking system, and you just wanted to do something simple really fast. You would have to go to each individual event and then edit the code. And that's really, really inefficient. So we're going to be remaking it in our step event. So why don't you go ahead and delete these 4 events, left, up, right, and down, because we don't need them anymore. Open up your step event and open up your code here. And we already have a little bit of code in here from our previous tutorials, so just move that down. And I want you to write this: if keyboard _check, then in parentheses vk _left, then x minus equal 5, semicolon, if, make sure, start and end in brackets, and then keyboard _check, vk _right, bracket, x plus equal 5, then keyboard check, parentheses vk _up, then it's like y minus equal 5, then if keyboard _check, vk _down, then it's y plus equal 5. And there you go. Now we have our little walking system here. And one thing I have not explained about if statements is, look how bulky this looks. I mean, we're just doing this one little action, and we're doing these brackets, and then the syntax looks weird. And I mean, it's just, look, this looks like way too much for the one little thing that we want to do. Well, one thing about coding, and I believe pretty much every language that you want to learn is like this. If in an if statement, you only have one action, now listen to me carefully, if you only have one action, you do not need these brackets that we use. So you could actually delete those, and this code right here would work just the same as this. Get away. This code would work just the same as this code right here that has brackets. And the reason why is because if you only have one action, you do not need these brackets. And it actually looks a lot neater if you don't use them for only one action. And it actually gets confusing for some people when they're reading code and they're like, alright, one action, what's these brackets about? And it's just kind of like makes them have a brain fart for a second. So again, if you only have one action to your if statement, you do not need the brackets. Now let's say you had something like this. If, let me move this back and get this out of the way. And let's say you had this. If keyboard check left, and then you wanted to decrease the x position by 5, and then you wanted to like change the sprite index equals sprite whatevs. Well, now you have 2 actions going on. You want, if this is happening, to do this and do this, and what GML is going to do is it's going to do this, but it's not going to know what the heck you're talking about when it comes to this. So that's why if you have more than one, you will have to use the brackets, and then you'll just do it like that, and then it would work. But if you only have one action, man, you don't need the brackets at all. So, and you can just put it right next to it. That looks neat. Or you could do it like this. It doesn't matter, whatever is better for you. So let's look how neat that looks when we take away the brackets and we just make it all look nice and pretty. And there we go. And this looks so much better than what we just had, and it looks a lot more neat. And another thing, you can have multiple conditions and have one action. And nothing needs to be in brackets or anything. And I talked to you in one tutorial about multiple conditions. I didn't go too much into it, but a multiple condition would basically be like, if keyboard check, vk left, let me get this out of the way, and our Boolean variable, like if we had a variable named Zach equals true, then it's going to go ahead and do this action right here, so long as it's followed with and, because then it knows that this is a condition and this is a condition, and it's just going to go right ahead and do that. And there's other ways that you can do these. You could put, like, instead of and, you could use or. So what this is going to check is, alright, if we're holding down the left keyboard button, or if our variable Zach is equal to true, then go ahead and do this action. And then that'll work just the same. And it would work the same if you had more than one action. Ifs. This would work the same just as well. I'm just talking about these condition things right here. So again, you could have or and, or whatever you want there. So basically what this will do is, if keyboard check, VK left, is this condition is met, then it's going to go ahead and do this, all the things in this brackets. Or, if this variable Zach is true, then it's going to go ahead and do this. So if one of these conditions are true, either one, it doesn't matter, then it's going to do this. Unless you have like and then it would have to be this has to happen and this has to happen at the same exact time, and then we'll go ahead and do this. So that is how you can do some multiple conditions with if statement. And again, let me emphasize on this. This and this is a condition. So there you go. And in the next tutorial, you'll see why all of this is useful. But for now, let's go ahead and make this look pretty. Delete this other condition that we made. And there you go. This is your new walking system. You know, it might even help for you later on to know what this is, so you could comment it, // put walking system, then like N walking system. Sometimes I'll comment stuff like this, so I know later on when I'm looking at the code, I'll know what all of this does. And when you get to more complicated code later, this stuff helps. So.